Saving lives, preventing disease, and reversing disease. You are listening to Dr. Richardson On Call, brought to you in part by the Atlanta Clinic of Preventive Medicine, William Richardson, MD.
This program is not being used to make diagnosis, administer treatment, prescribe medications, or order tests. The information contained is provided as an educational service. This program is not a replacement for the relationship you have with your healthcare provider. If you have concerns about your health, please contact your healthcare provider's office immediately.
Hello, ladies and gents. This is Andre 3000, one half of the group Outcast, and you're listening to Dr. Richardson On Call on WCLK 91.9 FM.
Hi, and thank you for listening to what was at the time Dr. Richardson's very popular and informative holistic, preventive, alternative health talk radio show designed to save lives, prevent disease, and reverse disease. Furthermore, if you are interested and in need of a holistic alternative medical doctor, you can reach Dr. Richardson at 770-419-4471. That's 770-419-4471. And be sure to visit our website at acpm.net. That's acpm.net.
Hello, good evening, and this is Dr. William Richardson, and I'm inspired and honored to be here on WCLK as your host on our preventive holistic medicine program. This is WCLK's Community Forum. Each month on the Preventive Health Show, we have, during the entire year of 1998, given you in-depth, stimulating looks at the major health issues facing our community today, every first and third Wednesday airing from 6 to 7 p.m. We have discussed the truth by revealing up-to-date and compelling facts, figures, and statistics about many topics from mainstream medicine to holistic healthcare. Most importantly, we offer extensive recommendations on quality medical care, disease prevention and treatment, nutrition, diet, vitamins and minerals, cleansing and detoxification, immune system enhancement, herbs, lifestyle, internal and external exercise, and natural alternatives and complementary therapies. On this show, we request and encourage and demand your participation. Why? Because this health forum is your show, so we require and appreciate your input. Go on and ask your important questions and give your valuable commentaries on the major health medical challenges facing our community today. Again, I'm your host, Dr. William Richardson, a board-certified medical doctor with over 16 years of experience in general, internal, family, preventive, and nutritional medicine. My role on this show is to facilitate our listeners in the how and why of making intelligent health choices in medical care, nutrition, diet, natural alternatives, vitamins, herbs, exercise, etc. Also, as always, I'm joined today in the studio by my brother, John Richardson, who's the writer, researcher, and producer for this show, to whom I owe many thanks. Thank you, Brother John.
And thank you, Brother Dr. William Richardson. And welcome out there in Radio Land, as I too, John Richardson, am honored, inspired, and highly motivated to assist Dr. Richardson in expounding the benefits of preventive holistic medicine, healthy lifestyles, diet, nutrition, stress management, as well as complementary and alternative therapeutics. And we invite you to join us on our next exciting show on Wednesday, November 18th at 6 p.m., where we will be discussing the fantastic world of herbs, where we will have a very special guest from Chicago, Dr. Hugh Jenkins, who is a certified naturopathic doctor, well-versed in, you guessed it, Western and Chinese herbology. Dr. Jenkins is also an acupuncturist, iridologist, chiropractor, among many other healing arts. And he has been on our show at least 2 other times. He is articulate, very intelligent, cordial, and, as we mentioned, well-versed expert on a subject matter which we will explore, and that is herbs. in terms of herbs, have you ever observed a sick animal with a curative instinct that drives them to hunt out and eat specific plant remedy? Well, herbs are on their mind. How many have a recollection of our grandparents or great-grandparents picking plants, brewing teas, mustard plasters, enemas, castor oil, poultices, tonics, and so on? Yes, herbs have literally been used by mankind throughout his and her existence. Herbs have been a large part of medicine and the healing arts in all cultures, including America, until the attempted suppression suppression basically of the AMA and the FDA and other governmental agencies or whatever. But what we can realize is that 66% of our drugs are derived from herbs or herb derivatives. For example, aspirin comes from white willow bark. Digitalis, which is a high blood pressure medicine, comes from foxglove. Laxatives, Cascara sagrada, like Metamucil, psyllium hulls, and just on and on and on and on. We could sit here and name 100 drugs that come from herbs, right?
That's right.
So in terms of herbs, we know that they're natural and they mostly don't have lasting side effects. They cleanse and detox and stimulate the body, build the immune system, just a whole lot of things we're going to open up on this show. They provide great nutrition in terms of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. They stimulate the body's immune system, as we mentioned, and they must be used with wisdom and knowledge, and that's why we're going to be going over this on this show. You just don't want to go to a herb store and just buy a bunch of herbs and start popping pills without knowing what you're doing. Herbs basically are like medicine with much less side effects, as we mentioned.
Right.
Yeah, but you can actually kill yourself with herbs.
You can.
You can, yeah. So popular herbs that we'll go over is golden seal, which fights antibiotics, echinacea, which boosts the immune system, garlic and hawthorn, which is good for blood pressure, Cascara sagrada, which is a natural laxative, on and on. Licorice for stomach ulcers and energy and adrenals, and valerian hops and skullcap for the nerve, just on and on with herbs.
Yeah.
You take a lot of herbs, don't you, Dr. Richardson?
Yeah, I do. And traditionally, people knew exactly what herbs to take for what purpose.
That's right.
To a degree that you would find very surprising.
That's right. It's amazing. So anyway, to close this out, be sure to join us our next show Wednesday, November 18th at 6 p.m. where we will be featuring herbs and especially featuring Dr. Hugh Jenkins, who is a naturopathic expert herbalist visiting us from Chicago, Illinois. It should really be a treat.
And he'll be taking consultations.
He'll be taking consultations that Friday and having an herb rally that Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, those of you who are interested, keep that in mind.
And call the health hotline if you don't know how to get in contact with us.
That's right.
All right.
All right, now let's turn to our topic for today.
Yes.
And this topic is a very interesting topic. It's about the second largest organ besides the skin.
Yeah.
It is the liver. The liver.
Yeah.
This is the liver show. First of all, let's understand that your liver, well, everybody just take their hand, whichever hand, the right hand or left hand, and put your hand on whichever side of the abdomen you think your liver is on.
All right.
Go on. Okay, everybody who has their hand on their left side, raise their hand. Everybody who has their hand on the right side, raise their hand.
Oh.
You're right. It's on the right side. And first of all, let's understand the liver is probably the most significant internal organ in trying to stabilize and regain health in any chronic health problem or degenerative disease. And as we've talked about before, this particular modern era is the era of chronic degenerative diseases. So the liver is truly important.
Yep.
An impaired liver can result in or greatly contribute to an unlimited number of disorders or diseases, including cancers of all types, arteriosclerosis resulting in heart and artery disease, many skin disorders, environmental sensitivities definitely, allergies of all kinds, inflammatory joint disease, neurological diseases, fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue syndrome, just to name a few. And let's not forget migraine headache, which I'm too familiar with, which I know you can decrease with liver detoxification.
Yes.
What is the liver and what does it do? The liver weighs about 3 to 4 pounds and is the largest internal organ. The liver is our body's master filter and detoxification center. And we know about all the estimates for chemical release, 1.2 billion pounds of chemicals into the ground seeping into aquifers, and 5.8 billion pounds of total emissions for the year 89. We'll go over some of those stats, but the liver's the master filter and detox center, so it's overworked these days. Your liver produces bile acids to digest and assimilate fats and lubricate intestinal walls. And we know what type of fat diet most people eat.
Yep.
Your liver produces and assimilates hormones and detoxifies your body of unwanted or excess hormones such as estrogen. And now we have estrogen in the cows and the milk and everything else, plus some of us take estrogens. Your liver plays a key role in blood formation and defending our bodies against infection or toxic overload. Any substance absorbed by your body orally or by mouth must first pass through the liver. Your liver will either accept, reject, neutralize, or transform it on behalf of the body.
Yes, sir.
Your liver governs digestive function. Your liver governs overall feeling of well-being in a very intimate way. And this has to do with feeling happy or angry. And the liver is connected to happiness or anger in Chinese medicine, which I've also studied via my acupuncture course. Your liver filters and transforms albumin, sugar, vitamins, minerals into usable substances and stores them. Your liver transforms carbohydrates into fat and stores it. Your liver regulates cholesterol assimilation and neutralization. Your liver manufactures new proteins needed to build and maintain our bodies, or it can take protein and make sugar if needed.
Yep.
Your liver manufactures clotting agents that cause the blood to stop bleeding. And in fact, science tells us the liver is responsible for over 3,000 different functions in our bodies. And that's at least over 3,000 different functions that no other part of the body does. And there are systems in the liver involving hundreds of enzymes, like the P450 system that detoxifies. And, you know, the liver is very complex. It was a very, very important part of our medical training.
Too bad we don't have two of them like the kidneys.
Yeah. But, you know, you only need 10% of the liver to function.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in liver failure.
Yeah.
And, you know, those of you who may be overdoing it on alcohol, not only does alcohol knock out a lot of brain cells, it knocks out some liver cells.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think about sexual activity has to do with the liver, in that two major hepatitis viruses are sexually transmitted and can result in liver transplantation or liver disease. Of course, that can be helped and overcome by certain medications and also supplements. So what are the signs of an impaired liver? You want to realize that a weak, insufficient, or overactive liver pulls energy away from the spleen, pancreas, and stomach. That's back to that Chinese medicine, which works, by the way.
Yeah.
Organs of the spleen, pancreas, and stomach that play a key role in digestion and assimilation. Okay, so if you're pulling energy from them because of a weak, insufficient, overactive liver, then you're going to have trouble with digestion. If you have trouble with digestion and assimilation, you're going to have putrefaction in the GI tract, and that means that you're going to have rot in the GI tract because you're not digesting your food, and that's going to put out poisons which cause migraine headaches. There's been no study with that, but I know it's true. The intestines, too, are almost totally dependent on the liver and the bile it produces. A congested liver can also at times become overactive as it works very hard to compensate for the congestion. And then it can even become exhausted. I saw a woman today from another state with a liver problem, and it's caused by it has unknown causes. But probably it was overworked and then set up an autoimmune reaction. Very interesting. Other symptoms of a weak, congested liver include anemia, hemorrhoids, dark, insufficient urine, bleeding problems, small, dark, or red spots the size of pinheads or even spiders throughout the body, skin diseases such as eczema, acne, hives, itching, rashes. The skin even becomes dirty with dark pigmentation or spots on the face or on the backs of the hands, the forehead, or around the nose and the eyes. You can get, of course, jaundice, and that's because the bilirubin's not being taken out of the body, and that's yellow skin or yellow eyes. Eye problems in general. And again, the eyes are related to the liver in Chinese medicine. The whites of the eyes, again, can become yellow. The body can become deficient in minerals. Hormonal imbalances in women due to the liver's influence over estrogen, causing malfunctioning of the ovaries and problems with conception, with the monthly menses and difficulty at time of menopause, loss of sex drive and femininity, developing more male qualities. And in men, you can get hormonal imbalances producing more feminine qualities, including gynecomastia, which is an increase in the breast size, or sterility, or even impotence. Loss of weight and malnourishment can come from liver problems, as well as obesity and malnourishment. Problems with sinuses, headaches, dizziness and shivering, loss of appetite, eating disorders of all types, and migraine headaches. And again, most importantly, almost every health problem or chronic disease has a significant connection to liver dysfunction. It can be helped by improving liver function. We merely want to impress upon you the importance of caring for this precious organ. An impaired liver cannot process toxins properly and will produce excess free radicals that lead and especially cause chronic degenerative diseases, so even brain and central nervous system function are affected.
Yes.
Okay, so how does the liver get into trouble? The following are a few examples of what may accumulate or eventually damage the liver. The liver stores and the remains of drugs, vaccines, this is over time, medicines, chemicals, hormones, preservatives in our food. And these can have a damaging effect on your life and at least impair your liver's functioning. Birth control pills can have an effect on the liver over time. Alcohol, of course, alcohol is a direct poison, smoking, and secondhand smoke. And, sometimes I see overdose cases of depressed folks trying to commit suicide, and Tylenol can cause you to get a liver transplant if you overdose on Tylenol. Terrible, terrible thing. Air pollution and aerosol sprays can have an effect. Skin pollution, insecticides, deodorants with toxic chemicals and such as aluminum, fluorinated toothpaste, chlorinated water.
Yep.
And we need to filter our showers.
Yep.
How about the fat in dairy products and animal fats and hydrogenated oils? That is the stuff you eat, you see that is causing a false thickening of the oil or unnatural thickening of the oil. Use of margarine, etc.
Yep.
Steroids of any kind, you have to be very careful with the liver. White processed sugar and salt, especially just plain sodium chloride, overuse of vitamins and minerals. Now, that's only certain vitamins, not the fat-soluble ones like the B vitamins and C, but more the fat, not the water-soluble ones, but the fat-soluble ones like vitamin D and A can cause liver problems if taken enough. Improper food combining, setting up problems with the GI tract, filling your stomach beyond the 80% mark, in other words, overeating. Lack of sleep and fatigue from pushing too hard. Lord, do I know about that. Negative emotions, hate, anger, fear, and sadness, especially anger.
Especially.
And hate, too. Unforgiveness and holding grudges. Feeling unloved. And what about hepatitis caused by the virus? Or even hepatitis caused by chemicals? And what about autoimmune diseases such as sarcoidosis, lupus, etc.? And what about cancer itself causing metastasis to the liver? There are literally thousands of reasons that may contribute to liver dysfunction, especially since, as we stated before, the Industrial Revolution, where our environment has been seriously polluted in the land, air, water, food, hygiene products, not to mention enormous stress from our society, as well as inferior commercially grown and or processed refined food. It is probably safe to assume that the most Americans suffer to some degree liver congestion due to being subjected to enormous, truly inescapable to some part environmental pollution, as well as processed food and lifestyle stress.
All right, but Dr. Richardson, we appreciate that synopsis on the liver. And, when we see people come into the office with all the various problems, whether it be cancer or whether it be chronic fatigue or skin problems or whatever, it probably has a liver tie-in. And, during this era of we had the Industrial Revolution, and now we're reaping the so-called fruits of that.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you go, every bit of air you breathe, every drop of water you get, every piece of food that you get, I don't care if it's organic. Organic is better. But
Much better.
It's much better, but everything has chemicals in it. And So the liver has extra work to do, period. Now, 1,000 years ago, the liver did not have to do this sort of work. There were other problems folks had to deal with. But right now, the liver is so challenged. So, we bring up the liver because it's related to what? Just the majority of illnesses people that have,
Yeah, check this out.
EPA
estimates for chemical release. 550 billion pounds of industrial chemicals dumped into public sewage. 1,200,000,000 pounds of chemicals into the ground seeping into aquifers. 190 million pounds of chemicals discharged onto surface waters. 2,500,000,000 pounds of air emissions into the atmosphere. 1,360,000,000 pounds of other miscellaneous emissions, and therefore 5,800,000,000 pounds of total emissions for the year. And that's 1989, and it's worse now.
It's definitely worse now. And then, on top of that, we have things not even mentioned there, like watching TV and getting the pollution in there that adds more stress on our systems, which also can affect the liver and all the other internal organs, and just stress so far. Just driving in Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia, Los Angeles is stressful and will put strain on the liver. But, so when people come into our office, we put them on a what we call metabolic cleanup, and one of the pieces, the major piece, is liver work. And so we have some liver tricks here that cleanse and detoxify and heal the liver. So why don't we read a few of these, a few more of them, and then we'll cut out for the break, and then we'll get the folks involved after we come back from the break. So one of the things we do is coffee enemas, and that's kind of a weird thing, but it's been going on for probably 100 years or more. And the Gerson therapy, which is a cancer therapy, exclusively uses organic coffee enemas, and we have put a lot of people on those coffee enemas to decongest the liver, and we have all the details and what it supposedly does and all of this.
Yeah, and it's a temporary thing, but it really does help.
It does.
And what about wheatgrass juice, orally and enemas?
I've done the enemas, and they are powerful, because when you put it in the colon there in the bottom, we looked in the circulatory system where the
anatomy book showing where the circulation goes after
it goes right up to the liver. I mean, sucks right up, and so those elements go right up into the liver and do their thing. And so the liver really appreciates wheatgrass juice and coffee enemas, because things happen when that gets up in the liver.
They stimulate the discharge of poisons from the liver.
Big time.
And then green juice with green apple, which is a very powerful drink, which I want to do a lot of, because that's going to decrease the congestion of the liver.
I've done it daily,
and
it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It raises your energy and the whole thing. And then there's
carrot apple juice.
That's a liver juice, basically carrot. Now, you want to add the apple in there, because I have experience. It makes it digest twice as good, and that's a formula that you find out a lot.
So we're talking about the Granny Smith
We are talking about only Granny Smith apple, because it's low in sugar, lowest in sugar of all the apples.
What about fresh vegetables and fruits and salads in general?
Yeah, and then there's B12 injections or B12 orally.
Right. And then there's other various things like glutathione supplementation IV and other precursors to detoxification mechanisms of the liver. So you're just helping the liver detox.
And then there's herbs like milk thistle, dandelion root, barberry. There's a whole lot of liver herbs.
And these have been studied clinically, and
Yes,
there is scientific data to support that they help the liver, period. Then there's acupuncture.
Yeah, and then there's probiotics, because if your intestinal flora is screwed up and you've got the unfriendly bacteria outnumbering the friendly bacteria, then you're putting a stress on the liver, because the liver has to help you fight those battles and detox your system of the loss, so to speak.
And then good habits like exercise, walking, rebounding, yoga, doing it daily, stretching, and good sleep patterns. Even taking an afternoon nap may help. Get Power Sleep by Dr. Moss. It's an excellent audio book.
Yeah, and then cut the fast food, fried food, junk food, sugar, refined flour, sodas, candy, cakes, all the favorites in the Western world that are killing people.
Yeah, really. That's just true.
Yeah.
All types of sprouts,
Yeah.
vegetable broth. And it's best to make your own sprouts to avoid some of the toxins that can grow.
Lemon water with cayenne pepper in the morning. I used to do that a lot.
That's right. And last meal of the day should be a lighter one and not too heavy.
Yeah, if you want something to eat in the evening, piece of fruit. It'd be doing all right for you. So, what else do we have, Dr. Richardson? About liquid chlorophyll. You ever try that, liquid chlorophyll?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And raw cultured vegetables, again, with the good bacteria. And then there's certain vegetables.
You can get those raw cultured vegetables. I eat at certain restaurants around town that serve those cultured vegetables. And be honest with you, I eat this root salad thing, and I eat it every day. And I put apple cider vinegar on it. I mean, my digestion is perfect when I eat that, But I can feel all my organs down there saying, yay, happy, because I'm eating carrots and daikon and all that, and that's good for the liver also.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. So,
Okay, now it's time for a break. This is the Community Health Forum on WCLK 91.9, and we'll be right back.
Hi, and thank you for listening to what was at the time Dr. Richardson's very popular and informative holistic, preventive, alternative health talk radio show, designed to save lives, prevent disease, and reverse disease. Furthermore, if you are interested and in need of a holistic alternative medical doctor, you can reach Dr. Richardson at 770-419-4471. That's 770-419-4471. And be sure to visit our website at acpm.net. That's acpm.net.
Hi, this is Dr. Richardson and John Richardson. We're back from the break on WCLK's Community Health Forum.
thank you very much. Okay. So we do have some calls, Dr. Richardson.
I just want to say real quick, the enzyme systems that start detoxification of the pesticides, insecticides, heavy metals, formaldehyde, benzene, toluene, xylene, paints, and 1,000 more, start with the cytochrome P450 system and the amine oxidase system. And these systems can get revved up. And guess what? When they get revved up in the beginning of a detoxification program, and we can explain, we don't have that in our newsletter, or we have books on it and handouts, and we deal with this in our office every day.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. We have to, especially when people come in for
lifestyle
nutritional counseling. Yeah, we will. And again, the number here is 404-880-9255. We're going to take our first call for the evening on the liver, the master filter and cleanser. Caller, are you there? Hello, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank
Good.
you for this informative program.
Thank you for calling again. Yes.
You mentioned, Dr. Richardson, some of the factors that put stress on the liver.
Yes.
And you included vaccines. I assume you mean childhood vaccinations, immunizations. Could you expound on that, just what your opinion is on vaccinations?
Okay, vaccines are a foreign substance that goes in the body to stimulate the immune system. And I think vaccines are like medicines. They are poisons with desirable side effects. For instance, smallpox in Africa, and really the world, was taken off the planet by way of vaccines. That was good. Now, the smallpox vaccine for some people had serious side effects, but it did eradicate the disease, and now the vaccine is not used. Mm-hmm. You think about some of the other diseases. Now, in Japan, they start childhood immunizations at the age of 2. In the United States, they start at 2 months.
Right.
Okay? They've gotten rid of the whole cell pertussis, which makes it less toxic. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a very controversial type of subject. You can find people who really care about people who definitely say to do it, and you can find people who really care, a minority, but still who really care about people who tell you not to do it. In my particular position, because my family does some international travel, we eventually do what we think is correct with that. They wanted to immunize my newborn baby with hepatitis B immediately, the first day of birth, and I said no. But if we were in another country and it was a chance my wife was hepatitis B positive, then it would have saved that child perhaps death. You see? Sure. So it's like that. It's just controversial. We have to use public health methods to really eradicate disease so that less and less immunizations will be necessary.
Did you have any other questions, caller?
I just wanted to ask, don't you think that nutrition plays a large role in that and breastfeeding your baby as far as supporting the immune system?
Absolutely. During the first 6 months, breastfeeding is extremely important because the baby's body makes no antibodies.
Right.
So you have to do it. But that still doesn't offer exactly the same protection that vaccines are purported to do.
Right.
Okay, caller, we're going to have to run.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. The number here is 404-880-9255, and we are discussing your master cleanser, your master filter, the liver, this evening, which performs over 3,000 different functions, is implicated in most all illnesses. All right, we're going to run to another call. Again, the number here is 880-9255. Go ahead and give us a call. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson. Thank you for calling this evening.
Nice to call. I'm experiencing some skin disorder that I have not had before. And what it is it's an itching underneath my skin. And recently I've noticed after the itching there will be a dry patch. And then after scratching it, there will be like a little white discoloration.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that what I would do is sort of listen to my body. And it said to me that I needed to detox as well as to do a deworming. I've been getting myself a whole deworming system dealing with castor oil and something dealing with the blood and the lymph nodes.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something tonight about we could actually kill ourselves, so to speak, if we take the herbs in the wrong combination.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering,
Well, it's not necessarily the wrong combination. It may even be more so the wrong type of herb at the wrong time.
okay, well, do you suggest that this would be the way to go? Because we know someone in common, Dr. Fred Burton in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And he is an advocate of deworming.
Yeah, I think that's a fine way to go. And most of those herbs are relatively benign. In other words, won't cause problems. Herbs that will cause problems more are like ephedra, which stimulates the sympathetic system. And if you take that with other stimulants, then you could get into trouble, like palpitations or high blood pressure. Or certain times or certain species of chaparral can give you liver damage.
Yes.
You see? But most herbs are very, very much relatively benign and quite safer than aspirin.
I've had to take this stuff, and I was just wondering, am I going in the right direction doing the deworming, or what do you think is causing these little white spots to come up?
Yeah, a specific diagnosis would perhaps need to be seen in an office by an MD, number one. Number two, I think it's a good way to go anyway, because ancient people always did deworming, and there's also the room for detoxification. And like we're saying, you may want to get on one of our total body detoxifications in the future. And that would be my comment on that. And you have to look at the diet too.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so very much.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling. The number here is 880-9255, 880-9255. We do have a couple lines open this evening. We would like your input on this important subject matter tonight of the liver and the liver health and its implications in all types of illnesses that we deal with in the Western world. Why don't you call us and give us your comment tonight on your liver or experiences regarding that or questions. Number here is 880-9255. We're going to, again, run to another call. Caller, are you there?
My question is, recently, I have just started suffering from dizzy spells. I've seen doctors, and they can't diagnose. They aren't sure exactly what the problem and stuff is. Neither am I, and it's really starting to bother me. And I was wondering, you all have ever encountered a problem like this?
Oh, man, I've encountered all types of problems in all my years of experience in emergency rooms and my office work. How old are you?
I'm 25.
And you have dizzy spells?
Yes.
Okay, well, it sounds like you need to have it diagnosed. How often do you get them?
My last diagnosis was
No, I said,
done
how
about
often do you get dizzy spells?
Oh, how often?
Yes.
Probably twice or three times a day.
Really?
What happens, like whenever I put my head below my heart, I know that's one sure way of me getting it, or whenever I sneeze, something like that.
Yeah, I think you need to be worked up medically, and you may want to come in for a second opinion. I think, you just need it diagnosed, and if they can't diagnose it, then at least you need to know how to combat it on a naturopathic level. So I would invite you to call our health hotline and get some information about our organization.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right. The number here is 880-9255. We're going to run to another call. We're discussing the liver tonight. Why don't you give us a call? 880-9255. Next call. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson. Thank you for calling this evening.
How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent.
I've enjoyed all your shows. I'm glad I tuned in tonight.
Good.
I have a question, not so much it concerns me. I'm a recovering alcoholic with 12 years sobriety, and a lot of people come into AA and have cirrhosis of the liver.
Congratulations.
Right. And congratulations on
Thanks.
that.
And I also have a friend who's an alcoholic who has hepatitis.
Yep.
And I was wondering, is there any way to reverse these?
You're saying alcoholic hepatitis?
Well, no, it was
viral,
not caught by,
it's a viral hepatitis?
I guess, hepatitis B.
Oh, hepatitis B, viral hepatitis, yeah.
Is there any way to reverse these?
Well, first of all, cirrhosis, you have to understand, you know what that means is basically scar tissue. So,
Okay.
of course, you did the first great step, and anybody you can encourage to not put any poisons in the body that affect the liver, that would be wise, okay? So not drinking is the number one thing. Now, cirrhosis is scar tissue in general. However, there are a lot of herbs that you can use and supplements to aid the liver in its present state.
Mm-hmm.
And that would include blessed milk thistle, thymus, derivatives, even thymus injections from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done and should be done.
Is that irreversible?
Scar tissue is
Depending on what stage it's in?
Yeah, I mean, scar tissue in general is scar tissue. As you know, scar tissue is there to stay per se. But then there's the thing of aiding the liver in detoxification. Because remember, you can live with, about 10% of the liver. So you'd have to destroy over 90% to not survive.
And caller, we have a whole list of liver aids that we generally give to people when they come into our office, how to detoxify and help heal the liver.
Well, what do you think about garlic and echinacea?
I think those are not as specific for the liver at all.
Okay.
Echinacea, of course, is immune enhancer and it may have a certain effect. I would think more blessed milk thistle, dandelion root, barberry, and those types of things. Coffee enemas, wheatgrass juice, green juice, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. And what about the hepatitis, real quick, if you could answer that?
Hepatitis B and C?
Yeah.
I would have to approach them the same way, and I
Right.
would add the thymus extracts because those have had some therapeutic effect, as well as possibly high-dose vitamin drips and oral antioxidants.
And you
because what you want to do is decrease the damage to the liver from the liver trying to fight the viruses. And that's what you want to do. And you can do that by helping the liver to detoxify without hurting itself.
That's exactly.
Well, we need more doctors here in the United States like you guys and into prevention instead of putting a Band-Aid on things.
And
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you. Yes, she has a point. You have to understand, folks out there, you don't make as much money being a preventive doctor as you make after they have the problem and keep coming back with the problem, which fuels our system, in terms of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks and all that, and the billboards telling people to smoke and drink and all of that type of thing. This is not a preventive culture. It's a reactive culture. So we're going to run to another call. The number here is 880-9255. Apparently the folks out there are interested in the liver because the lines are full. But we encourage you to call. The minute the line open up, and we'll get to you. Here's our next call. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson. Thank you for calling tonight.
Oh, I appreciate you guys being on tonight and tuning in. I had a liver. Well, what happened with me, I'm going to go through this real fast.
Quickly.
Started drinking at the age of 12, alcohol straight, up until the age of 23. Stopped at the age of 30. I got a liver infection.
A liver what?
Infection.
Sarcoidosis is what they said.
Sarcoidosis?
Sarcoidosis?
Yes. And they've been giving me prednisone for it.
Yeah.
Ever since 89.
I see.
And I've been taking these pills.
You need to do a lot of stuff.
I've been taking these prednisone pills, 5 milligrams.
Yeah. You are.
That's not bad.
How many milligrams per day?
5.
5 per day. That's not as bad because the normal physiological amount of prednisone in the body is 10, so you're not too much over what you would do. And there's probably a lot of stuff that, not probably, there's a lot of stuff you need to do. You may have to be stuck on prednisone 5 a day, but there's a bunch of things that you can do to try to help aid yourself.
Yeah, I mean, prednisone encourages candida growth. It encourages pathogens to grow in your bacteria in your gut, and it depresses the immune system. So what you want to do is counter those things by taking herbs and supplements and teas and your diet that totally goes against that, and you can counterbalance that real nice.
Yeah,
that's what you need to know.
And that would add longevity and decrease,
no question about it.
In my opinion, the need for more medication in the future.
So if you came in for a consultation, we can easily show you how to do that.
Yes, I do have your address in Hapeville.
No, in Hapeville is our sponsor, Nature's Own Herb Shop. We are located in Buckhead, but what we do, we have a health hotline. You can call and get our newsletter information.
I do have the hotline.
You have the hotline number?
Yes.
Yeah, just call that number and then leave your address and information. Okay?
All right. And another thing is...
Quickly, please.
Yes. It caused me to have cataracts, okay? And I had to get my eye lens redone.
Yeah.
And I believe it came from that because no one else in my family has.
Yeah, I believe sarcoid can do that, or prednisone as well. Actually, prednisone will do that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, fellas. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And, I'll call the hotline.
All right. Be strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Number here is 880-9255. We're going to run quickly to another call. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson this evening. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I suffer from chronic eczema, and I wanted to know, would a liver cleanse help with that?
I think it would. I would also really have to urge you to look at possible dietary allergies. And I've had a lot of success with eczema with doing food allergy panel tests and then getting people off of offending foods and cleaning up the diet. And part of the detoxification process will be a liver detox. So I can highly encourage you to do that.
Okay.
I like those type of challenges.
Okay, caller?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Also, she probably would get on a juicing program, the green juice, some of those things
Probably.
to help the liver and the skin. All right, the number here, folks, 880-9255, 880-9255. We do have a couple lines open, so I encourage you to give us a call while you can get in to state your question or comment for Dr. Richardson. Call us at 404-880-9255. We're going to run to another call. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson. Thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you. Wanted to know what the effect of Goody's headache powder is on the liver. I mean, I've been having a lot of headaches lately, and I've been taking it, and I was wondering if it would have an effect on my liver.
Well, if you don't overdo it, it probably won't have an overly toxic effect. I mean, you'd have if you OD'd on it, then it could have a very deleterious effect because you have to look at the ingredients. And I've never even held up a Goody's headache powder, but I believe it has aspirin in it, probably caffeine, and does it have acetaminophen also?
I'm not sure of that, but I know it has a little caffeine in it, and I know that it has aspirin.
To get to the root cause.
The main thing you really have to do is get to the root cause of why you have headaches in the first place, so you don't have to worry about taking that stuff. And I would highly encourage you to call us at our health hotline, start to investigate our information and newsletter. But I would really go and find out why you have headaches.
What's up with that? That's okay.
I don't mind getting to the root, but in the meantime.
In the meantime, do what you have to do, but you might also want to try some Tiger Balm, massage, some stretching, some Epsom salt baths, some ice packs to the head. You might want to try some feverfew herb.
Right.
You might want to try some APS2, which you can find in herb shops,
Yoga.
with white willow bark, yoga, meditation. If you're not moving your bowels every day, you may want to take an enema. I mean, there's a lot of things.
You hit it on the head, Dr. Richard. I used to have headaches every day.
And I did too.
And I don't have any now.
I have none.
You don't
now.
have any.
No.
So that's the testament.
We don't like headaches. Yeah.
You need to know what you're doing with those.
Yeah, you don't.
So you. No,
don't do it unless you
need some instructions on that.
But you can take a regular enema if you need to.
Yeah, and we have instructions on that too. But you may want to call the health hotline number and get our information and maybe eventually come and see us.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to squeeze in another call. This is an exciting show on liver. What do you think, Dr. Richardson?
I think this is a very interesting show.
It's great.
Yeah.
I like this. Liver Talk. Number here is 880-9255. We're going to, again, run to another call. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson.
I
Hi, Dr. Richardson.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Excellent.
I'm very excited. I'm calling because I've had a lot of problems with severe bloating, and I'm just wondering if that might be something that's caused by a liver malfunction. I've had also a series of colonics earlier in the year, and also I had a naturopath put me on a series of herbs as well. I've eliminated quite a bit of sugar and white flour products from my diet, and I still find that even with working with the mixing of my foods, I still get the bloating.
You may want to try digestive enzymes, and we may need to look at it again. You may need to get a second opinion. I don't think a liver dysfunction per se will cause bloating unless you have a specific deficit in the bowel output and whatnot. She's doing food combining.
You're strictly doing food combining, are you?
I've been doing it as best as I could.
Okay. Do you have the book Food Combining Made Easy by H.M. Shelton?
No.
You want to go get that book, read it from cover to cover about 3 or 4 times. If you do that, that probably will eliminate bloating and that type of thing. That book is excellent, but it's strict.
You may also need to look for bacterial overgrowth.
That's the truth.
And
Candida
and other problems.
and stuff like that, yeah.
So I think there's some more work you need to do.
Okay. Now, how do I look for bacteria overgrowth? What would I have to do?
There's special tests that are done, like the comprehensive digestive stool analysis. But I would just suggest you call the health hotline.
Call the health hotline and request information on bacteria overgrowth, and we'll send you some pamphlets on that, among other things.
Okay, but you don't think it could be anything with the liver? Or?
Not per se, not unless I checked your biochem profile or something like that.
And we could check the liver also with a liver detox. Caller, we're going to have to run.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, it's time for another break.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Richardson and John Richardson on WCLK Community Health Forum.
Hi, and thank you for listening to what was at the time Dr. Richardson's very popular and informative holistic, preventive, alternative health talk radio show, designed to save lives, prevent disease, and reverse disease. Furthermore, if you are interested and in need of a holistic alternative medical doctor, you can reach Dr. Richardson at 770-419-4471. That's 770-419-4471. And be sure to visit our website at acpm.net. That's acpm.net.
All right, I catch the rhythm from Ken over there.
He's back there
and
rocking
we're
on
back.
the
We got a lot of calls.
And we're going to run back to the calls.
All right, then.
All right. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
You're on WCLK with Dr. Richardson. Can you speak up?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, okay. When I was working at a hospital, I had 2 hepatitis B immunizations. I'm healthy. I have nothing wrong with me, and I'm due for my 3rd. I'm a little overdue, maybe by a month.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you recommend the hepatitis B immunization for people?
Yes, I would have to say I do. Now, are you still going to be working in the health professions at all?
Yeah, but I have low patient contact, but I still wanted to immunize myself, even though I'm very low risk for the disease.
I mean, you've taken 2. In my opinion, I would take 1 more.
Okay.
I'm certainly immunized for it, and if they had a hepatitis C, I'd get that one too, which is even more daring. They're doing it to children now, and
Can
yes.
you get it free, like at any public health clinic?
I think you can go to a community health clinic, DeKalb or Fulton County. So I don't think that's a major problem.
Okay.
You can get it at a doctor's office. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for calling.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Going to run to our next call. Caller, are you there?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I heard the other call. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
Here's my scenario, quick and to the point. I've been a vegetarian for 14 years, 22 of which I ate meat, the whole 9 meat and potatoes person. 15, I stopped eating stopped eating pork at the age of 15, stopped eating beef at the age of 18, and became a vegetarian at the age of 22. I'm now 36. I was wondering, how long does it take for the body to totally detox? Can remnant toxins release into the system and cause problems such as, like I'm experiencing recurrent acne. I don't, and I'm going to come into the clinic because I don't know if I have a food allergy, if a food allergy has presented itself over the years, but can you address that?
Yeah, it's very interesting what you're saying. And then you have to, to be blunt, okay, if I may be blunt with you as you were, it depends. There are some meat eaters I've met that actually eat in generally healthier than the average vegetarian. Now, if you can believe that.
Okay.
Because they eat it very rarely and they eat organic everything anyway, okay? And so you have to look at your own detoxification even as a vegetarian, number one. Number two, I think, you're getting out of the range of effects. So, detoxifications, you can't emphasize that enough. And you can get you can go to bowel pocket detoxification, bowel cleansing, liver detoxification,
I've had
gallbladder.
I've had colonics. I've done I used to work. Actually, Queen of Fu is the person who's.
I know Queen of Fu. Yeah, Queen of Fu is good. She's the one that
got me on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I would love to see the challenge. I would love to have the challenge to see what else could be done or what else would be needed. Okay. And that would take some analysis.
Okay, and I have the hotline. I'll call and I'll be there.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling, caller.
All right.
Okay, well, we have a little bit of time left, and we want to say thank you, Atlanta, for your calls for this show. I had found this show to be more challenging as far as the nature or the questions of the callers. I think they're very intelligent and very meaningful, and we take it very seriously. We have a lot of things going on that we're very excited about. We want to make announcements for that's happening around our clinic. I think we need to get right into that.
Yeah, basically, again, Dr. Pookrum has joined our practice. He's an holistic gynecologist. And we do have the hotline number, and the hotline number is where you can get all this information. We got Dr. Jenkins coming on the next show talking about herbs, the 18th. We have a holistic newsletter on women's and men's reproductive health. And so there's a whole lot of things that you can get by calling the health hotline number. Also, you can get information on Dr. Richardson's preventive holistic medical practice, which we have about a 16-member staff, and it keeps growing. Looks like every week something's joining our staff. Might be 18 now. I don't know.
And everybody who's called in before will be getting a newsletter.
That's right.
With
we got hundreds
of our
people.
herb rally
That's
and
right.
everything
All
else. So you'll be seeing that and opportunities to come and see Dr. Jenkins. We're going to put that in the newsletter.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of information.
For Dr. William Richardson, this is John Richardson signing off on WCLK 91.9 FM. We'll see you in 2 weeks.